They won.
Russell Wilson starting the season on fire. The Packers got a big win over the Saints, but we start with the NBA where we now know the finals matchup. It will be the Heat joining the Lakers as Bam Adebayo went off in the game last night to finish the series and take them to the finals. Jalen, what did you see from the Heat?
I saw a player that earned his nickname Bam. As somebody that's old enough to have watched the Flintstones growing up, this is why I felt like the Miami Heat should advance in this series. Yeah, the Celtics have more lottery picks and overall seem to have more skill and talent, but the Miami Heat are a well-oiled machine, and that guy we just showed, Bam, was physically dominant up front. Tice didn't have a chance to guard him off the dribble, in the post, in half court, in transition. Can't really put Cantor out there. He's not much of a defender. He really exposed the weakness as it relates to up front with the Boston Celtics defensively.
Jalen, you know I will front run and I will jump on a bandwagon, and I'm so happy to be on this one with the Miami Heat. And you know I love Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson so much because when they're on the court, I feel like I'm on the court. And the two of them both contributed last night. Duncan Robinson is finally starting to show up and hit some shots. I love this Heat team so much. And we will have plenty of time to dedicate to previewing this finals matchup for you. But, Jalen, right now it is time to give the Heat their flowers because there aren't too many people that picked them to come out of the East. And here they are with a trip to the NBA Finals in the bubble. And, Jalen, you said that there was something that happened last night, a key play that sort of changed the momentum of the game and brought the Heat to the finals. What play was that?
Celtics just were a second-half team, in particular led by Jason Tatum. But in yesterday's game, Jalen Brown started to have an impact defensively. He and Marcus Smart were getting deflections. They were getting steals, including against Tyler Hero. And this play right here, Jacoby, that should have been an and one for Jalen Brown. He wouldn't have gotten injured, wouldn't have been hobbled the rest of the game. They wouldn't have called timeout, and the Miami Heat wouldn't have gotten 2 points going the other way. That was a major play in the game that ultimately ended up being a no call as we put a button on the Celtics season.
Ended up being a no call and ended the Celtics season. We will see this young core in the playoffs again, but now we turn our attention to the gridiron, and what a day it was yesterday all throughout the NFL, but specifically for a gentleman by the name of Russell Wilson. He has played 3 games, and he has thrown 14 touchdown passes in those 3 games, 3 of them to lock it yesterday. Jalen, they beat the Cowboys. It was close, but Russell Wilson is on a tear. What do you see from him?
I see somebody that is a member of a power couple. And you know we celebrate those on this program. And I remember there was times where people were trolling him and he wasn't getting MVP votes. And now all of a sudden he's putting up records that we haven't seen in the first 3 games. And Lockett looks like a rocket because he's out there wide open. Metcalf could have had another touchdown, except he was tiptoeing at the goal line and got the ball stripped from him. This Seattle team led by Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson has been explosive offensively. Hopefully Jamal Adams doesn't have to miss extended time with his injury.
Yep, Jamal Adams, a key part of that defense. He was hurt, but also a key part of their offense. Chris Carson was injured, and he was injured on this play that I can't wait to talk to you about. You have the Cowboys' Tristan Hill with this tackle and roll over of the leg that led to Carson missing time. Jalen, do you think this was a dirty tackle?
The football I grew up knowing and loving, it was not. But in today's game, it is. And I was surprised that more wasn't made of this play because usually these are the plays that not only get somebody flagged, but get them ejected and or suspended and or fined. It'll be interesting to see how the league plays it going forward.
When I saw this play, I expected him to be ejected. I expected suspension to come down and a fine to come down. It's just too obvious, and also it shouldn't be this way, but the injury also amplifies it. Because he was hurt and because he could miss extra time, I think the league will take a longer look at this, and I do expect him to be suspended for a game, and I expect him to be a lot lighter in the pockets because of a fine.
3 down back, so very underrated. They're gonna need him to make their goals happen.
They really are, and they use him a lot in the passing game as well. Russell Wilson, what a start he has had. He is going to give the 2 gentlemen that we will watch tonight a run for the next MVP trophy. But before we start getting ahead of ourselves to tonight's game, another big game yesterday between two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, beat the Saints. The Saints have a slow start. Do you think this was more about Rodgers being great or the Saints underperforming?
This definitely more about Rodgers being great because Matt LaFleur and he seem to be on the same page, and this is without Devontae Adams. And so now all of a sudden you see Aaron Rodgers comfortable in the pocket, making his weapons around him better. This team is going to continue to improve. A scary sight for the NFC. The one thing I saw for the Saints is I love to see Kamara catching so many balls and scoring touchdowns, and I know that they were playing without Michael Thomas. But Drew Brees got this dinking and dunking, Jacoby. He dinking and dunking. I saw it was like 5 yards. You know, I'm like, they're gonna have to unlock the field if they really gonna do something in the NFC. But the talks of his demise after early weeks were greatly over-exaggerated.
That's like I said earlier, I'm going to wait until Thanksgiving. I'm going to wait until I'm wearing a mask. However, I can't help but notice, like you, that he rarely throws the ball over 10 yards. And he said after last week that his job isn't to throw the ball far, his job is to get wins. However, when you watch the Saints this year, how many wins? Wait, I'm sorry, how many wins? Oh, that's right. They don't have wins. So maybe his job should be to throw it further downfield. Do you think Sean Payton will change their approach and start to throw it further downfield as they move forward in the season?
Again, it helps when you have the number one option in the NFL that caught a record. That's the security blanket, not only for a quarterback, but for an older quarterback in Drew Brees. But at the same time, when he did play, he only caught 3 balls. So when both of those things are happening concurrently, it's going to be easier to evaluate where we feel like Drew Brees is and will be for the season going forward.
Obviously, I do know that the Saints did beat the Bucs and another older quarterback in Tom Brady in Week 1, but they have not won since then. And there is a team, as I mentioned earlier in this segment, I will jump on a bandwagon. I will front run, and I have decided to become a full-fledged member of Bills Mafia because I love this Bills team so much. The combination of Allen and Diggs, they got out to a huge lead, almost blew it. But then the final drive, you give Josh Allen the ball and they move down the field. Did this pass interference play change the game? Was it actually a pass interference? I don't think so. But you know what? I'm part of Bills Mafia. I might break a table, Jalen. I might break a table. Now, Jalen, I might break a table. I really might. Jalen, do you think that pass interference play? Go ahead.
The pass interference play did have a major influence. It was a ticky-tack call, but it was actually the correct call. And I agree with you on Josh Allen, his 5 total TDs. You should be excited about Bills Mafia. But some of the things you've done on this show, as I look at the footage of the people that are jumping and breaking their backs on chairs and hitting cans on their head, you fit right in with them because that seems like a cultural thing. We had you in the picture earlier with your Miami guys. We see you pictured in front of your Beastie Boys. I see you excited about Josh Allen. You have earned the right to be a full-fledged, die-easy member of Bills Mafia. I'm pretty sure they'll welcome you with open arms.
Listen, I will support the Bills until they lose. As long as they're undefeated, because I'm a front runner. As long as they're
What I mean to see LeBron, we've been so close with this year, sort of have his close out this series and show again what kind of closer he is.
Yeah, man. He told us it was his time. They was making a push. Late in the third, I think cut it to 2, and we didn't really start off in the fourth quarter. Well, we didn't close that third quarter how we wanted to, and we didn't start off pretty good in that fourth. And he just took over. He told us it was his time. He told me it was his time, and we kind of everybody just kind of got out the way and just let him, be him. And he brought it home for us. But he's always capable of doing that. He makes the right plays. He makes the right reads. And tonight, the read for him was to, get to the basket and finish, or make a play, and all of them was good reads, and he carried us tonight to get to this point.
All right, Dave McMenamin.
LeBron said that not only does he want to set a good example for you, not to take it, et cetera, like show how hard he works, but he said he doesn't want to let you down. I'm sorry, you don't want to let him down, and he doesn't want to let you down. So how's that dynamic? How's that worked out? And when did you recognize
when I first got here, he told me that he wants to give me my first ring, and I told him I want to get him back to the finals. Last year he didn't get there, injury, and he was in a good place. I think they're in 4th place. When he got hurt, so who knows what could have happened, but he missed last year, and I tell him all the time, I got your back, you got my back, and especially in games like this,